Hey Scorpio, how's it going? We are here with your reading, what you need to know for November. The first card that we have out is Three of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, Page of Pentacles, Two of Cups, and the Fool on the bottom of the deck. Okay. Having Three of Pentacles and having Nine of Cups, it looks to me like for most of you, this actually looks like a person that you can be connecting with. It doesn't have to be, but because of having the Two of Cups here, it can definitely indicate somebody that you have something going on with here. A couple different ways, and you can see these as layers, so you can see this as being inclusive when I'm saying these things rather than exclusive. Three of Pentacles and Nine of Cups is about working with what you want, figuring out what you want, being open to what you want. This can also be about communicating what you want. What this can mean too is that there's somebody that you're working with, like this can be somebody that you're collabing with. Because we have the Nine of Cups there can be a figuring out what you guys want, especially because we have the Two of Cups here. This can be something new-ish or something that feels like you're still figuring out how to do this, how to work this. And it is something that you want because we have Nine of Cups here and because we also have Two of Cups. Nine of Cups is going to show that there is a figuring out when it comes to what you want, and that is possible and that you are figuring that out. Because we have Page of Pentacles here, this can be sort of like a new endeavor that you have going on, but it doesn't have to be new since we don't have an ace here. This can be something where even if it's not brand new, you can feel like I'm still figuring out how to do this. I'm still figuring out how to show up. It's like that. It's going to be like that type of feeling that you have there. And because we have Two of Cups, this is something that I'm doing for my relationship with myself. This is something that I can also be doing for my relationship with another person, or there can just be another person that's involved in this process. Because we have the Fool here, this can be taking a bit of a chance in order to do this. And you can also feel like this is me trying to figure things out. And you can be more open to and open-minded about what you want as well. Because Nine of Cups is going to be when you really check in and when you really reflect within your heart, what is it that it says to you? And having Three of Pentacles there can be like, I'm open to working with myself in this way now. I'm open to asking myself what I want, or asking myself what I need, or what I like, or what I prefer, or what feels good to me, or what feels safe to me, or what feels peaceful to me. Things like that. And this can also mean too something working out in a way that you want. Because Three of Pentacles sure can be like, now this person and I are trying to work things out. We're trying to figure things out together. I am seeing Five of Swords, so there can be a bit of, because this is a reading for November, this is something that can be happening throughout November, okay? Having Five of Swords here can indicate that there's a little bit of a standoffish energy that I'm seeing here, because if you're stepping through and saying this is what I want, there's vulnerability within that. And this can be something that feels a little bit like, this can be something about having somebody be close to you. If this isn't your energy, except if you're dealing with another person, I imagine that this would actually be both of you guys probably. Because as much as it can be easy to be like, it's going to be this other person and not you, it's going to also bring up stuff for you too, okay? What I'm seeing is that what's linked to the Two of Cups is actually Five of Swords, and this is also linked with Three of Pentacles, and then it's linked with Ten of Wands. And to sort of reduce what all of this means is that this is, hey, let's try to work together. Hey, let's try to figure this out. Hey, I want intimacy. Hey, I want to be close. I want to feel close. And Five of Swords is like anywhere where there's still a guard up, anywhere where there's still a, I'm not being totally transparent, not for the purpose of deception, but more for the purpose of I'm trying to protect myself. And then how is that going to work? Because Three of Pentacles, we need cooperation. Five of Swords is not so cooperative. Five of Swords is, I want to sort of have you lay that out on the table before I put anything out on the table, and let me see and then calculate and judge from there, rather than fully participating open-heartedly. But this can also be something that makes it more difficult when it comes to what you want. This part of your sort of psyche can be making it more difficult, making it more strenuous. And you can feel like this part of you is actually making things more difficult. So Five of Swords is going to be any time that's coming up that you're feeling triggered. Feeling triggered is not the thing in and of itself. It's kind of like, what are you doing when you're triggered? Are you shutting somebody out? Is there like a fear narrative that's coming up? Are you becoming uncooperative? Are you icing out? Are you saying like, you go first and then like judging from there, but it's not we're jumping together, it's like you go first? Like what exactly is happening with this, with the Five of Swords? And Five of Swords isn't coming up because you're like, I don't want to be close to someone. Five of Swords is coming up because I'm actually seeing there be a desire to be close and a desire to connect. But Five of Swords is feeling like, I don't feel safe for some reason. So what is that? What's going on there? Why is this coming up? And also, how do you work with it? Having Ten of Wands next to it can be really difficult to work with this energy. And this can even be like, I thought that it was them that was doing that, and then I'm doing it. It can be like a really reactive thing when we have the Five of Swords there. And it can be something that doesn't allow you to get closer in a way that you may actually want to. Baby steps. I'm seeing this is going to be figured out. The best way for me to describe this energy is like, okay, there's going to be making up happening in November is what I'm seeing. The thing is that you'll also feel closer with yourself for this. This isn't just like a type of energy that I'm seeing where you're going to feel really close with this other person and then feel distant from yourself. This is you're going to feel closer with yourself and together with yourself and on the same page with yourself, and also with this other person, for those of you that you have another person involved in your storyline right now. Emotions running high. I'm seeing Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck. It does look like the connection is going to be reconciled, or there's going to be a making up. And this is about figuring out, how do we go from feeling sort of at odds, or maybe both of us being on edge with one another, all the way to making it so we can be like, okay, things are good again. Like we're together again, or things are okay again, and we are figuring things out. Having Page of Pentacles here is like this is going to be the most basic key principle here to making this happen, because this is the strategy that we need to use. Now, what is the strategy that comes along with the Page of Pentacles? This means baby steps. This means it can be acts of service. It can be practical stuff that comes up. When you have the Pentacles, it's about values. And so this is, how do I show up in a way that is helpful, in a way where I am listening to I'm getting familiar with what my love language is, what this other person's love language is, and that I'm showing up in that way. Because Pentacles are things like I'm on time, or I'm reliable, or I'm showing you that you can depend on me, or that I'm committed to this, or that I'm investing in this, and that I'm taking it seriously. It's going to be those little things, like anything that will be helpful in a pragmatic type of way. And this means too, like showing up and showing a sense of consistency and commitment, and also there being a like, I want to be here, and so I'm showing up and doing what needs to be done to communicate that with you through my behavior, through my actions. Let me give examples sort of just to clarify as far as what is and what isn't. If we had, let's say, like a fire energy here, this could be, I'm showing up and I'm making a big statement and showing you how passionate I feel, and it's going to be like that revved up emotional stuff. This is a Page of Pentacles. Because we have Pentacles, this is like, I'm showing that I'm here and I'm serious about this. So how does that be communicated? How do we take steps that show this is an investment and I'm committed to the investment, and I'm figuring out how best to make our lives easier? It's going to be always, when we have Page of Pentacles, how can I help? How can I be helpful? Not just I'm showing up and being helpful in the way that I want to, and then it's not translating. This is really paying attention and saying, what can I do that's really going to be helpful for you and what you need? And also tuning into what you need as well. But this feels more so when we have Page of Pentacles, like what you're doing actually. Just speaking from the standpoint of you and how you're showing up. And there can also be a figuring out, like, this is what I want, what do you want? And you need to be clear about this, because having the Five of Swords here can be, there needs to be clear communication about this. There can be mental conflict that's going on. There can be we're feeling a type of way but haven't communicated that yet. Or I am, and it's not allowing me to have that intimacy or have that closeness emotionally because I'm feeling a type of way. And actually, if I were feeling safe right now, it would be easier for us to collaborate and to work this out and to talk with each other. But I'm making this more difficult. And when I tune in, I recognize that I'm actually doing that I've been doing that. So it can be ways that we sort of keep things at a distance, when really it seems like that's the opposite of what you want, because I'm seeing us end with Two of Cups and Three of Cups. So you can feel in the beginning of November that there's some like weird stuff going on with you and this person. But you can also feel like you have to break down and work with the part of you that comes up to armor and protect yourself when you are feeling triggered. Because it actually keeps you at a distance from what you want in your heart. And then it feels taxing. And this can also be about having Five of Swords and having Nine of Cups can be a little bit selfish at times. Can be like, I'm doing what I need to get what I want, and then like not really being so considerate of the other person. And know that this can be something that goes back and forth too. This isn't like about pointing fingers. This is about figuring out, like, are you just thinking of yourself here? Or are you just wanting this to benefit you, but then not being collaborative with the other person? Is that coming from a place of insecurity? Feeling like, I need you to prove it to me. I need you to prove it to me. I need you to prove it to me, but then you're barely showing up. What's going on? And keep in mind too that like this is a general reading, right? So maybe it's happening on a really tiny scale. Maybe for others of you, it's happening on a bigger scale where you're like, I know that what I'm doing is being problematic right now. And that doesn't need to mean that you are problematic. This can be more so like, I'm seeing more and more when I'm feeling triggered, how this comes up and how it actually creates distance, further distance, when I want to close the gap there. And this also means too, when we have Five of Swords, it can be, have you been doing stuff where you feel like, it maybe has been, okay, it can be on one side, it can be on the other side, it can be both of these things at different times. When I see Five of Swords and I see Two of Cups, I think doing things in a way where it can benefit you, where you get to feel a sense of intimacy and closeness, or you think anyway, like this is what I want and this is what I need to do for myself, and then not so much considering the other person, being like, if I'm getting my needs met, then that's what's necessary, neglecting that if you are doing what's truly best for you and what's truly in highest alignment, it will benefit everybody. There's never a scenario that comes from a place of love that benefits one person and nobody else. If it is really coming from a pure space of love, purely, what's best for me is also going to be best for everybody involved as well. Always. Because we are all one, so what benefits one person is going to benefit everybody else. However, when it comes from a place of love, though, it has to. If it comes from a place of ego, it can very much be like, this benefits me, but doesn't benefit anybody else. So you have to check in about that. And what this can also mean, too, when we have the Five of Swords here, this can mean I'm feeling a type of way towards you because I have boundaries and I have needs. And I haven't been tuning into that, or I haven't been respecting that, or I haven't been setting boundaries. And now I feel a type of way towards you because I feel like you're taking advantage of me. And now I feel like I need to protect myself. And now I feel like I want to be close with you, but I feel like I can't. So things need to be communicated. So for those of you that you feel like it's them that I feel like is being selfish, and it's them that I feel like I need to be on edge with them or on guard with them, or I don't really want to be cooperative with them because I feel like I need to keep my guard up. This can be a time where, because we have Queen of Cups and we also have the energy of Cancer here. This is moon energy. This is what's going on emotionally. I feel like you're thinking about yourself here, not thinking about me, and now I need to think about myself. And then again, a riff. I don't really want to work with you right now. And then the thing that we both want becomes feeling kind of unobtainable. When really I'm seeing there be a common goal here. So what's going to help is strategizing and figuring this out. But then I'm seeing everything come back together. So I'm seeing this ends up being resolved. But there's definitely going to be a need to working with that part of yourself, or this other person working with that part of themselves, both of you guys working with these parts of yourself that feel like I have to take care of myself in the ways that I do, where it stops... where it creates like a lack of consideration for other person involved. Boundaries, communication, and also knowing what's going on with you on an emotional level and knowing what you need and your values. Because we have Page of Pentacles, this is figuring out, like, in a practical way, how do I need to show up? What's helpful to me, and also what is helpful to this other person? And you're still learning, you're still figuring out how to do that, and so is the other person, for those of you that you have another person involved. And taking these baby steps and sort of looking at the connection, both with yourself, because you're figuring out how to do earth stuff within your relationship with yourself, and for some of you in a relationship also with another person. This is figuring out from a perspective of, how much time do I have? How much energy do I have? If I have to do this, this, and this, what am I prioritizing? It's like that type of practical stuff when we have Pentacles here. And how to connect what's going on with your water energy, your feelings, and then also what's playing out physically. What's being prioritized. And you can see the Page of Pentacles as, I'm figuring out how to do this. I'm figuring out how to play this role effectively. how to step into this effectively, how to do my part effectively in a way that it works, in a way that is harmonious. And right now is about figuring out what sort of blocks that from happening, and then going in there and moving stuff around so it can flow again. I want to say this again about the energy. 5 of Swords, it can be when you feel like I have given and I'm not being appreciated, or I gave and then I didn't get anything in return or what I needed in return, or I'm thinking of you and you're not thinking of me. It can come back to a place of I need to tune into my values and my boundaries, and I need to make sure that I am tuned into that. Otherwise, I'm going to feel a type of way, and then I'm going to have to put the armor up. It's going to be like, I give and I give and I give, and then it's too much and it crosses a line, and now I have to put the walls up, and now this is really stressing me out, and now I need to keep them at a distance. So it will be like that type of thing. And this is something that you can experience in, I mean, we have 2 of Cups here. This can be lots of your close relationships. Maybe it's only a certain type of relationship that you get into where this type of thing occurs. And this can also be to unlearning some stuff. Maybe you learned that like minimizing your own needs and sacrificing was the way to show up within a connection. And now can be a time where you're like, I don't think that that's a very loving thing that I do for myself. This self-sacrifice that I do. So it can be something where there's a tuning into, when I'm taking care of myself, that means that I can also show up best within my relationships as well. But when I'm neglecting myself, there's a lot of baggage that's going to come with that. And then we're here again. So it can be a big time of doing that, like a lot of emotional stuff that's happening and needing to connect the dots so you can be conscious about what's going on. How I'm seeing things end up is that stuff comes back together. So just know that if you're having some weird energy in the beginning, sort of coming closer to mid-November with yourself and also somebody that you're close with or people that you're close with, this is the process happening, but then I'm seeing things come back together. So stuff ends up being reconciled, but there is a need to work together. There's a need to collaborate, to communicate. It can feel like it gets a bit intense. Simultaneously, this can feel like I think if you just remind yourself that this is a process rather than needing to be like, I need the end result to be like everything's fine right now and like having a meltdown if it's not, I think seeing this as a process is going to be really helpful. Like just one thing at a time, and then it's going to build to something that feels really stable. When right now it may not feel like that, okay? And working with yourself and your walls, but figuring out like why, if the walls go up and they feel like it's really hard to get them to come back down, it means that something was happening in the opposite and equal force. So you could have felt like I was that vulnerable or crossed my boundary that much that now I have to, like a rubber band, come back and do the opposite. Where now there's a wall there that nothing can, impenetrable, nothing can get through. And figure out, where did you cross your own boundary? Where did you cross your own line that you felt like you needed to come back here and put the walls up like that? and work with that part of yourself. And rather than being like, I don't know why I have walls up, like I just can't let anybody in, like I have problems with vulnerability, like you don't need to do the whole process of blaming yourself. This is happening for a reason. So getting to the bottom of, why is that my reaction? Where is this coming from? And what do I need to take from that? And what lesson can I learn from that about myself and about my boundaries, so I know where the line is? So then you don't have to go into this defensive position and then walk yourself back down. Because some of you too, you can feel like, I go back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. Like I'm so open and loving, and then I'm shut down completely. And it's like, you don't have to do that anymore. Like you don't have to do that dance back and forth anymore. But the key to not having to do that anymore is figuring out what is making that reaction happen. And it's gonna be about crossing the line with your own boundaries. That you feel like, now I need to take it back. Okay? All right, my friends, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.